What got you into marketing?
I think it was a curiosity factor about how people kind of responded to offers, to communication. Because I had started with a journalism background, broadcast journalism, and so I thought, well, curiosity, I better be a journalist. I like to ask questions. I like to find out things. So journalism seemed to be the right way to go. Everybody's journey is it's not a straight line. I mean, there's even a book that talks about zigging and zagging your way towards your goal, and that's okay. And so I think, I really didn't know for the first couple of years at college. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I was following things that I was interested in. So I was always interested in the TV, radio kind of business. And so I went into communications just to kind of understand the business aspects of that. And then you need to do some kind of major for communications. And so I felt like broadcast journalism, kind of like I said earlier, tied in with a curiosity factor that I had. And so, I didn't see the 20 years from now I'm going to be this. I just followed, hey, I'm interested in this. And I also want to make sure that it's something that I can build a career out of. That it's not just a hobby, but it's a career. But to approach it like it's a hobby, like something you're genuinely interested in finding out about. So that's how I kind of zigzagged my way. I was in broadcast journalism, and then I needed to do an internship. So I did an internship at a local broadcast station here. It was in production, and I loved doing it, but I knew I didn't want to do that for my whole career. Then I found an internship at NBC, and I was like, NBC, I'll do anything there, it doesn't matter. But it was a research internship, and that kind of set me on a path where I was really curious about how people responded to, what made someone watch a TV show versus another one. And again, that wasn't something I didn't want to go into that as a career. So the next step was to move that into an advertising. In advertising, we have departments, but we don't stay stuck in the department. I have a media department. There's people in the media department, but if we just stayed within our department, nothing would happen. So we were always kind of working with account managers, creative people, interactive people, because all the solutions are cross-discipline. You can't just find one solution in one discipline anymore. That's not the world we live in anymore. So that's exciting too, because you get to work with multi-discipline kind of people and figure out a solution. There's days when you feel like you're on top of the world, that you get it, and then the next day something happens where it challenges your perception, and then suddenly you're like a baby all over again, and you're learning something new. So there's a balance between breaking up the mold, and changing it or updating it, versus just kind of, there's a temptation to stay with what you know and what you're comfortable in. And the day you do that is the day you probably say goodbye to the future of your career.
Do you feel like college influenced you a lot, or is it more through like the internship?
I think just being well-rounded was key for college to be well-rounded, to not just focus on one thing or one technical thing, but to have a well-rounded kind of education, but also be able to, theory is good, but you gotta kind of actually start doing. And so the internship is the key to kind of get your hands dirty and actually do the work.
What things would you count to your success?
Stay curious. Right? It's kind of like a theme that I have, I guess. Stay curious, stay hungry, always see beyond your next step. Always kind of look beyond that step to enlarge what you're doing. You're doing something at face value. Whatever you're doing at the moment has its own face value. But look beyond that and be curious. Read. I think a big edge that I have is that I read and I stay hungry. I want to know current events. I want to know what's happening in the world. You can't hide your head in the sand and expect to stay relevant in any kind of career these days. So you have to be involved in the world. You have to, know what's going on, and just never be complacent. I guess the moment you stay still and you're complacent, even though it's nice, you need to take a breath once in a while look at the, smell the flowers and
Yeah.
enjoy things, but you need to keep moving.
Thank you for your time.
Is that it? All right.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
man.